Thank you. So I think the title of our session is Boosting the Bottom Line, 5 customer experience management lessons from the real world. But before we talk about those 5 lessons, Luis, I'd like to ask you, could you give me the background on why Alcatel-Lucent decided to acquire Motive?
Okay. Hello, Caroline. So this is very in line with what Paul was explaining before. When I was running this fixed access division, so providing DSL, GPON, all the platforms for the service providers to provide the broadband services to their consumers, we were detecting that at that time, 75% of the calls to the help desk were coming from issues in the house. We were developing tools to test the lines before arriving to the house, so we were managing perfectly for the operators that they can check the quality of the copper or the quality of the fiber and make sure that before providing the services, everything was right. But in a way, the industry was failing in really addressing the problems in the house. At that time, I was looking for a solution, either internally or externally, and we found a company called Motive, an American company that was starting to work with one of the big American operators in addressing this issue. It's a company specialized in device management, and we bought it. It was 5 years ago, and we have made them now the leaders of this segment with more than 70 million subscribers and homes. Today managed with more than 250 service providers using it. And this has been, following the lines of Paul, is if the network or the service, what they call the product, doesn't work, all the rest you can do doesn't matter, because it's very difficult to satisfy customers if the network is not working. What we are trying to do is to provide the tools for them to be able to track and fix the issues before the customers perceive them.
Okay, thank you. So would you like to now talk about the 5 lessons from the motivation event?
As you were saying, we are organizing forums with our key customers in which we want to listen from their experience, because we serve them, they serve their customers, and we need to learn through their eyes what is happening in order for us to build the tools that may support them or will support them. So in this, sharing these things and sharing some of the key data that they are sharing with us, we detected that one important thing is to be able to listen to the network and to the home, and with the analytics, try to detect problems either before they happen, because we see the network deteriorating or something happening in the home, and we can fix them, fix some of the issues before the customer, the consumer, detect the issue. Or if this is not the case, we can have an intelligence to really know what the problem is or may be, and when they are calling for asking for support, the service provider can provide a very guided type of support in order to avoid that there are sequences of call or transfer of calls in the help desk that at the end of the day impact the customer satisfaction. So analytics is one of the key learnings.
Okay, right. And what about self-service? That was no doubt a hot topic, especially with the millennial generation coming up. The customers wanting to do more and more for themselves.
That was another trend, very interesting, because we know that our kids, the youngsters, they don't like to talk over the phone, even with their friends. They prefer to text. And when they have issues, either with their computers or their devices, they go to internet and try to find the issue and the possible solution out there that the people are talking about. With the service that service providers give, is more or less the same behavior. So they think that they don't like to call the help desk and try to talk to a number of people explaining or re-explaining what the problem is. If they go to a site and they discover that they can fix their issue themselves, this is impacting heavily the customer satisfaction. One of the data points that one key customer provided to us, that 88% of the people that tried to use these tools that the service provider was giving to their customers, they don't call the help desk. They arrive and fix the issue before they need a personal intervention. And this is a very important data point. And it's not only young people. We are detecting that this is extrapolating to almost everybody. Calling a help desk is becoming the last chance when you really don't know how to fix the issue.
Really?
So providing this type of tools, and we are integrating in the Motive suite some capacity to provide these tools in which getting the analytics right and understanding what the problem is, then you can really fix a significant amount of issues without the need of an intervention. Just a personal example. The supplier of my broadband service in London, when I was having a problem, I'm not a youngster, so I called the help desk. I was seeing when I went to the internet to see for the help desk number that they were the tool that you can check, but okay, I call in any case, and the guy was telling me just in 10 seconds that I was having a DECT wireless telephone very close to the modem, and this is creating interference to the Wi-Fi, reducing the speed. If I separate this by 3 meters, the speed will be okay. They are using our tool, and they know statistically that the people using this device may have this problem. A number of calls are happening. They're tracking these devices at the home. They build the expert know-how at the central level, and the help desks are very quickly, without any more transfer, to fix these issues. This is very, very important.
And that's interesting that you say it's regardless of age, because I would have thought the young people would use those tools, but you said it was regardless of age, regardless of region.
They are detected, and more the people are used to go and fix the issues themselves.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Right. And what about measurements? I mean, I think Paul mentioned a number of metrics. What about the communication service providers that participated in motivation? Were they talking about the same metrics, different ones?
I think this is becoming, few companies started to use the Net Promoter Score, which is becoming extensively used among the different service providers, and we really endorse this, because at the end of the day, you need to measure the final effect of everything you do. But this should be complemented with your internal KPIs. Internal KPIs, you can divide it in 2 pockets. One pocket is what the network is telling you, the home devices, and the network is telling you in terms of the quality and potential impact of these network KPIs in the customer satisfaction, and also on the way you interface with customers in every occasion, either in the shop or a help desk or a subscription, etc. So there are leading KPIs or lagging KPIs, the one that is happening in the network, but the real final score is the network supporter. Is where the people really tells you that they are happy with the end-to-end interaction with you in the different phases of the services. This is the key one.
Okay, so that came out from the
There are more and more people. I think you will hear in the next panel John Chambers say that Telstra is using this indicator as well. Some of our American customers as well. Virgin Media is using it. So more and more, this is being used by the different operators to really track the difference that they make in the interaction with their customers.
Okay, thank you. And we also, Paul pointed out about the actual culture being set from the top, which is very much the case, I think, in Virgin Media. But from a strategic perspective, how important is it for communication service providers to have support from the very top level of the company in order for their customer experience management initiatives to succeed?
I think this is crucial because in all companies, in all industries, we've been talking about quality and customer centricity and all these type of things. We normally measure this, but if we keep this in the quality department and all the rest of the management, we are talking about only margin and cash and profits and all the financial KPIs, this doesn't connect. I think the important thing is these KPIs, the Network Promoter Score, needs to be part of the complete management and company life, meaning that management has to talk about it, management has to track the evolution of it, has to really analyze what are the lagging KPIs that are provoking either an improvement or a deterioration of this KPI, and the company should follow. It's an act of belief that if the Network Promoter Score is improving, all the rest will improve, all the financial will improve. And driving this is about, for example, the example of Virgin is, are we investing enough in CapEx in the network? Because we may invest in a better help desk, or we can invest in a different type of interaction, better shops. But if the network is not good, doesn't connect. So, in my opinion, is having this KPI and analyzing the evolution. Then there is a combination of other things in any company that needs to drive to this point. So, management commitment is key, and that should be in the daily conversation of the operators.
Right, and the management commitment is a leap of faith, I think you were describing it as Paul, right at the beginning. But what I think was heartening about what Paul was saying is that Virgin Media now has empirical evidence, which I think will obviously help tremendously justify that leap of faith, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's in any company. At the beginning it's tough. Let me tell the example of an industrial company like ours that we make products. You say that when you say that we are not going to do something that we are not certain that we can be good at, is to say no to customers, to say, okay, look, even if you're asking me to make a proposal in this, we are not going to do it because either we are not prepared or we are not good enough at that moment in time to serve you. You take a short-term hit because you are saying no to business, but in a period of time, your brand, your image in front, our customer satisfaction to our customers, you see increasing, and it pays back. The same is happening for people addressing consumers, like the service providers. When you make a call of this type, it's a very tough call to make because you need to be sure that everything you do has an excellence in what you do. It starts with the field operators, with the field engineers, which are not managers normally, and they go and is the face, is Virgin Media or BT or Telefonica. For many people, is the guy that comes home to install a modem. And this is Telefonica or is Telecom Italia, or is the customer for them. So it starts by them to make sure that these people is well trained, that they have the right tools, that the network is well performing in order to go to this score. Not everything happens in management rooms in the headquarters. It's a company culture, and it's a real bet, but I'm completely convinced that pays off.
Yes, and I think that was a very interesting point that you made, Paul, about the employees mattering, because so much of the time when we talk about customer experience management, we're talking about the customers mattering, but the point you were making about the people, I thought was a very interesting one, as Luis has just confirmed. So what about the role of new technologies and improvements to existing technologies? So I'm talking particularly, as we're in Broadband World Forum, about things like small cells and DSL enhancements. How do these innovations affect customer experience? And can we use the same customer experience management tools and measurements for those, or do we need to put in new ones? Or?
Okay, this is the basic platform, and now it's my time to convince all these people to buy much more because they need to invest much more. So the basic platform of any customer experience is to have a very good network. And now what we are seeing in the last couple of years and our projection for the next years is that the separation between wireless and wireline is disappearing. So almost everything is either a wireless network, because even at home we are connecting by Wi-Fi the many devices we have, but we are approaching the electronics as much as possible to the customer, meaning that in fixed, either we put fiber or we put the cabinets closer and closer to the home in order to make sure that the bandwidth is good enough for providing the bandwidth. And in wireless, with the appearance of LTE, we need to move gradually to the small cells concept. With macro cells will not be enough to provide the bandwidth because the spectrum is limited. So we will see that the wireless network will become closer to a wireline network with similar issues like backhauling, putting small boxes in the middle of cities in order to have more or less subscribers per cell and to distribute the bandwidth more efficiently. This is crucial because at the end of the day, there will be again a competition between service providers with the quality of the network they provide in terms of coverage, in terms of minimum bandwidth, in terms of availability, that they don't have outage or costs or issues with propagation, etc. So this is becoming key and will become even a differentiator, not even in customer experience, will be maybe a selection process by subscribers when something or someone is able to provide these combinations. This is a big challenge because we are stepping in areas which are less known for us. All options are valid, and I think even copper, and I'm sure that we are presenting here vectoring and G.fast, so even the copper is able to compete with fiber and many other technologies, but fiber is there strongly. LTE is arriving, and with the small cells will be very present, even competing with some of the fixed solutions. So I think the network is becoming a key differentiating factors for the operators to really make sure that the people has the bandwidth. And one key point that we are advocating is that it's less important the peak bandwidth that we provide to subscribers. It's more important to guarantee a minimum speed, whatever happens. Okay, because you can have 80 or 100 or 1 giga, but if every now and then you go to nothing or you have different behaviors, this is bad. If we can provide a minimum bandwidth guarantee, whatever happens, this is really impacting, and we have proofs that this is impacting the customer experience.
Okay, but is it an opportunity when you're putting in these new technologies or refreshing the technologies, is it an opportunity to design from the ground up with customer experience in mind?
Of course, because everything goes to that at the end of the day. Not only in terms of bandwidth, but in terms of manageability and the possibility of manage all these type of devices, wherever they are, either fixed or mobile, from the same management system, that we can track the service that they are providing, the bandwidth that they are providing, all the manageability at the end of the day can go in a very concrete KPIs that measure customer experience. This is for sure.
Okay, right. And so what about on the wireless side? You know, mobile phones and tablets obviously offer an important opportunity for customer engagement. But what about the sort of problems they cause for customer experience? Can you talk a little about that?
It is the same issue or similar issue that we had in the home with the different CPEs or set-top boxes for IPTV, we have with terminal devices. With the difference is that in a home you may have a set-top box or a modem, but you may have several mobile devices. And with the smartphones, the issue is that they are configurable, and not everybody has the same level of skills to make sure that they are well connected either to Wi-Fi or to any of the applications that they want to be connected. And we are perceiving also some additional calls to help desk with issues related to the phone itself more than to the connectivity, and is where, again, operators can make a difference in supporting these people. This is why we are integrating in the Motive suite also the same type of capabilities in order to manage mobile devices, that we can connect to them, we can track them, we can configure remotely. If a person calls because they have issues to connect to a Wi-Fi for whatever reason, we can help in providing guidance and configure the device. So it's the same space, everything is merging and converging to the same type of things. A lot of devices out there, either in the home or in the hands of many people, and very critical to provide experience. When you are struggling with a device, normally you point to the people that sell you this device and the service, so the quicker and easier service provider can fix the issues, the better it will be for the complete service proposition.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much indeed, Luis. Have we got any questions from the audience for Luis? No, I think in the interest of time, I think we'll go straight on. So thank you very much indeed.